Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
Hi guys, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Lisa.
And we are the hosts of The Book of the Dead, a true crime podcast based out of New Jersey, where we tell you about the most obscure cases that you may have never heard of. So join us in the Book of the Dead library for another chapter of The Book of the Dead wherever you get your podcasts. Bye guys.
Devil is on his way. Devil is on his way, motherfucker. The devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Fall to your knees. Devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Motherfucker, he's on his...
Hey y'all, welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Hey y'all.
What's up?
It's 2026, Dylan.
That's right.
Brand new year, and you know what that means? New cases, new things happening.
Yeah.
We've had a little bit of a break. I've been working diligently this whole time.
She's been pounding it out, folks.
I've so many cases prepared, Dylan. We are going to have such a great year.
She has bloody fingertips from just pounding that keyboard and all that research and writing and whatever else she does for this podcast.
Well, I'm being distracted right now by insane cat.
Hey, look, public service announcement. Craigslist cats are all crazy. So if you want a cat and that's how you're going to go about finding it, prepare yourself to have new cat experiences.
I'm not even sure she's a cat. I don't know what she is.
Okay.
Something else. Let's give a big shout out, Dylan, to our newest patrons, Tariq and Angel. They are sponsoring today's episode.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Tariq and Angel, for sponsoring today's episode.
I'm feeling refreshed, Dylan. I am ready to get into today's case. We promised you organized crime.
We did, but I must say, we hope you enjoy the ad-free and extra content over there.
The extra concrete over at
and
yes.
the complimentary concrete.
Yeah, over at patreon.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Dylan. So we promised some organized crime.
Okay.
Makes me think maybe you need some like concrete shoes, right?
Okay.
Let's get into today's case. Like I said, it is a doozy of a case, and it's going to be a two-parter. Just so you know.
All right. I can't wait to start. This month's theme off because I've been waiting for this one.
You've been waiting for this
I
one?
love the organized crimes. All those stories over the years, all the great movies.
So are you saying you like mobster organized crime or just organized crime in general, like the Bling Ring or some other,
I like it all.
You like all that kind of
I
stuff?
like all of it. I like stories of very, huge fraud stories.
I know you love to talk about the Grease Man.
Yeah. Well, it'd be part of
tight spaces.
Yeah, it'd be a part of a con person team.
I think you bring up the Grease Man like more than you should in conversation sometimes.
Well, I'm a greasy man.
It's a lot. Yeah.
I just like saying the word. I mean, let's be honest. And
I like wet work.
I can respect the talent involved in being a proper grease man.
All right, Dylan. Enough of that. Let's move on.
And squeezing into tight spots and stuff,
On the evening of December 2nd, 2020, an off-duty soldier was hunting deer near a fire break trail leading to some artificial lakes in the remote training area of Fort Bragg. Now, the soldier did have a permit to hunt these grounds.
Okay.
I know that was your top concern.
Well, yeah, obviously.
You always want to make sure everybody's good and licensed up, right?
He's not poaching that government meat.
Yeah. As dusk set in, the soldier was hoping to catch a deer, slipping near the reservoir known as MacArthur Lake.
Oh, he's going to catch that deer lacking.
Yeah, the sun's going down. That deer figures all the hunters have gone home.
He's talking about everything's fine.
He's out strutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, he's doing it like that.
Strutting with his big old antlers.
Oh, he's dragging the antlers
He's like, look
around?
at me, I'm like a big old 12-point buck.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was surprised to see the trail blocked by a late model gray pickup truck. It was a quad cab Chevrolet Colorado with racing wheels.
And I'm surprised that deers can drive a vehicle like that.
I didn't know trucks had racing wheels.
Well, yeah. I guess. I mean,
Okay.
it's just a style, right? I guess.
I don't know. I don't know anything about wheels.
Damn.
I just know they're round and, they make my car go. That's about it.
Damn, real gearhead here, folks.
Yeah. But I will say I've always dreamed of having spinny rims.
She really has dreamed of this, y'all. She has dreamed. She wants this. Like when she makes it.
I want a hoopty with some spinny rims.
When she wins the lottery, there will be signs. Let's just say that.
Like an old El Camino. About maybe like an 85 El Camino with some spinny rims.
But you want the real spinny, not the hubcaps.
No, like in a really dope paint job. Like fuchsia or teal.
Okay.
On my El Camino.
Are you talking like some 22s?
Maybe some flames. I've always wanted a car with flames.
Okay.
Okay. And I probably will never have a 57 Chevy, so I'll just take the El Camino with flames.
An 85 El Camino.
Yeah.
With flames and spinny wheels.
rims. Yeah.
Okay.
You wish you could ride in my pussy wagon.
I would ride in the back in that tiny bed.
I would put a little swimming pool back there for you, like a little kiddie pool. One of the really teeny ones for like toddlers. And you could just sit in it.
I would.
Eat a sandwich or something. Okay, so this truck was positioned at an unusual angle and no one was at the wheel. The tires were also like street tires, not the kind that you would use for off-roading, which, when I saw racing wheels, I was thinking that doesn't really sound like you're going out mudding or four-wheeling in this big old truck.
No, so obviously you're referring to the tread on the tire. It's a road tread, or maybe even a high performance, Z-rated wheel that is, for performance driving. Yeah.
What does that mean, performance driving?
Well, like
I'm dressed like a clown and I'm driving? This is an art performance.
Fast,
honk, honk.
fast driving, it's funny. You see these people buy these nice cars.
I don't know. I drive like a grandma, so
No, dude. Tell them the quick story. Just the other day, we were driving around. We were near a bigger city.
We was putting
around,
loafering,
and there was somebody, I don't know. They were in a Challenger or whatever, a souped up this or that, and I was totally out driving them.
Oh man, you were pissing this person. I was like, bro, you need to calm down. Like this weirdo could pull out a gun and road rage us or something.
I finally let him go, but I was out driving him. I was. I was out driving the shit out of him in my 2011 Kia Soul with 200,000 miles on it. And I just kept dumping this guy, leaving him in the dust, hemming him up. And it was finally I had to stop because the dude was like about to freaking lose it.
Work car, what?
But yeah, people get these cars and they don't know how to drive. But anyway, so here we go. We have this vehicle parked oddly, kind of
on a trail.
You notice it
in the woods
with not really it seems out of place.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, as the hunter approaches, he saw a heavyset black man lying face down on pine needles. Now, at first, the hunter thought the man had suffered a heart attack.
Okay.
Which I think is a pretty good guess, right? Hypothesis. Yeah. You're out in the woods, something like that could happen. Perhaps he had been trying to push the truck out of the sandy earth. There appeared to be tree branches shoved under the tires as if to give them traction. As the hunter got closer, he saw the man had been shot in the head.
Oh, damn.
He called 911 from his cell phone. Since he was on military land at Fort Bragg, the call was routed to the 10th Military Police. It took about 10 minutes for the MPs, or, military police, to arrive. In that time, the sun set and the temperature dropped down into the 40s. The hunter found a second body in the bed of the truck. A white man wrapped in a blood-soaked canvas drop cloth, like the kind painters use.
Okay.
I don't want to find this. This is why I don't hunt.
Because.
All right? Hunters, joggers.
And fishermen.
They always be finding.
An old man taking his son fishing.
They always be finding some bodies, right? I've just ceased to do outdoor activities where there's a likelihood I could find a body. All right? The truck belonged to one of the victims, the white man found deceased in the truck bed. He was Master Sergeant William Lavigne II, known as Billy, a former operator who had washed out of Delta Force.
Which is the elite squad, right?
Oh, we're going to talk about it. Lavigne had a severe case of PTSD. Special Forces had allowed him to stay on until his upcoming retirement in February of 2021. Lavigne was known to special agents with the 10th Military Police Battalion because he'd been questioned about 2 failed drug tests. Lavigne had a reputation as a powder keg, deeply troubled. A few years earlier, Lavigne had killed his best friend under mysterious circumstances.
So we're letting this guy hang around so he can make retirement after all this? I mean, that seems like a lot.
Seems like the way the military works to me, bud. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we like to sweep things under the rug.
Keep it quiet.
Just let it peter out kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, people who know. You don't know, but you know? Okay. So, like I said, he had this reputation as being a bit of a powder keg. He had been involved in this mysterious death of his friend, and we'll get more into that.
Failing drug tests. Doesn't sound like a squared away soldier.
He had also been involved in a shooting months earlier in Fayetteville that had gone uninvestigated. Now, this guy's body was riddled with bullets. He was discovered alongside this other fella. Remember, there's the black guy face down on the pine needles. A former chief warrant officer, bit of a disreputable soldier named Timothy Dumas. Now, the double homicide demanded everyone's immediate attention. Army investigators with CID had taken over the crime scene. Crime scene technicians took photos of the deceased men. Lavigne had been stripped of all clothing except for a pair of Ranger panties, which are the short, very, very short running shorts that are made of like an extremely thin material worn as a workout garment. I know I never sat on a Coronado beach waiting for Navy SEALs to run by in these things. Never.
Ranger panties?
Yeah. Just the tiniest little shorts. Little hoochie shorts.
Yeah, everybody knows. Everybody's seen them in movies and stuff. You've seen them in real life, apparently.
I've seen them up close.
I bet you've seen them crumpled up at the foot of a bed or some shit.
I mean, my baby daddy washed out of buds.
Yeah. He's a ne'er-do-well.
I was actually thinking about G.I. Jane, the film with Demi Moore and
right.
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Rawr.
Viggo's awesome.
And he's wearing short shorts. Yeah. I should watch that movie again. Just for him. You know, he's like 70-something.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like elder. Like, he's old.
Damn.
He looks pretty damn good. But yeah, he's like 70 or something.
So you're telling me one of the last movies I remember him in was History of Violence?
Gosh, that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, so even then he was 60.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's a lot older than you'd expect.
Damn, that's crazy.
And we are getting really sidetracked, but that is what we do here at Mountain Murders. Let's get back to
it's
it.
the Ranger panties.
I'm very distracted. You would look good in that. You know, you have nice legs. You could wear those.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good save, baby.
You've got sexy legs, baby.
Yeah.
Now, 3 gunshot wounds pierced Lavigne's body in the chest, groin, and leg. The leg would likely have caused him to bleed out. The location. I don't know the exact location, but I'm assuming near the artery.
Was it the femoral artery?
Yeah, the artery that's up near your groin, right?
There's a big one there.
Dumas, who was only a few steps away, appeared to be executed. It was as though he had been maybe on his knees when the shooter had pressed a gun to his forehead, The wound appeared to be inflicted by a small gun, maybe like a .22 or a .380. It only took CID about a day to come up with a theory of the double homicides. Investigators already knew a few things about the victims. They had been involved in drugs. Their recent text messages had proven that Dumas was one of the biggest drug dealers in the area. He had sold numerous kilos of cocaine on Fort Bragg.
Damn.
Now, you would be surprised. You probably don't equate drug dealing and drug trafficking with the military, but there is much more of it that happens than anybody would realize, I think.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. For one, you have a fairly young group of people. So you're going to have people experimenting and maybe making poor choices more so than when you get older and wiser. And also you have a very diverse group of people, which is going to bring people together, square people, people that are street savvy, from all over the world, not just the country. And so, yeah, actually, it doesn't surprise me at all. You got young people wanting to have fun, and with fun and partying always comes drugs to some degree.
Lavigne, also a dealer, was more of a wholesale guy. The text showed that Lavigne had drug debts. Not only did he sell drugs, but he was a serious addict. And you can't get high on your own supply, Dylan.
Biggie told us all about this in the 10 Crack Commandments.
Can't do it.
No.
Military investigators speculated that Dumas, who was known to offer to kill people for cash, had been hired by someone to murder Lavigne. Investigators theorized the murder of Lavigne would need to be carried out by an experienced person, a professional, because of Lavigne's training. Quote, someone would have to be pretty good to get a jump on him, said Agent Malloy with the Army Investigation Unit here. Most criminals were not capable of subduing a Delta Force member.
Well, yeah. I mean, they have, at that level, million plus dollars worth of training per soldier or something like that. Even the people, I would say, that wash out of these elite forces when they're trying to make it and they don't make it, they're still a badass.
Yeah, they
over
are,
the average person, even over the average soldier.
Well, and a lot of times, I think people automatically assume, they washed out because of because it was tough or it was physically hard. But most of the time, it's a mental thing.
Right.
You're up for days. They're fucking with you. And, it's a lot.
They're really trying to take you to the very edge mentally and physically, because these are the types of things that you will have to deal with if you're actually on mission. And
some people wash out because of an academic.
Right.
Because you're also taking classes, you're passing tests, or you're supposed to be passing tests. And, if you don't meet standards, you fail one test, they throw you out on your ear, Now, Dumas was known to carry a large chrome revolver, which was missing from the scene. Now, if Lavigne had any weapons, they had been confiscated because none were here, among the bodies.
Which makes sense if you've been subdued or someone's gotten the jump on you. They're going to disarm you. They're going to take all your weapons. And yeah, so that makes sense.
This led investigators to believe there had been a third party, a third shooter. Perhaps Dumas and the third party had been working together to take down Lavigne. After shooting Lavigne, the pair rolled him into the canvas, loaded him in the back of the truck. They had driven the body to this lake area, but the truck had gotten stuck, and then the third person murdered Dumas.
Okay.
I think that's a decent theory. Now, if this all sounds very strange to you listeners, you got to buckle up because you're in for a ride. Now, soon after the discovery of bodies, investigators appeared at Dumas's rental home in Carthage, North Carolina. Searching the premise, they seized items that included a hunting knife and a bottle of Captain Morgan's rum. Now, according to Dumas's son TJ, the investigators believed gangsters and cartels had been involved in his father's murder. But TJ does not buy this story. He cannot fathom a gang member or cartel killer going on to Fort Bragg, killing people, and then leaving the area unseen.
And I think that's a reasonable observation. Would you say so?
I would say so. Yes, these cartel guys, are like swift ninjas and all.
Well, they have their ways. They have connections.
But these bases are usually guarded, fenced, It's
Well,
not exactly easy to sneak onto bases.
Yeah,
There's cameras,
You're gonna
depending, I guess, on the security level of the base.
right. You have control entry points. You have documentation about who comes and goes. So even if you do manage to get through in and back out, there's kind of a trail. You're not controlling everything, and that doesn't really seem to be the way the cartel operates, let alone some gangbangers or something like that.
Right. So Dumas's truck was located in Scotland County, about 40 miles away. The Dodge Ram had been stripped and firebombed. The truck was, quote, burnt to a crisp. TJ, Dumas's son, couldn't believe someone had taken the truck and set it on fire without causing a big scene. I mean, a burning vehicle, that can usually be seen for miles.
Yeah.
And no one was caught driving the black Dodge Ram on any security camera, like anywhere, within a 40-mile range. 40-mile distance.
That would lead me to believe someone was aware of procedures and surveillance.
TJ was convinced that his father's murder was like a professional hit, but maybe not exactly cartel gang member, but maybe something a little more sinister.
Okay.
TJ said, quote, "I believe the military killed my father."
There we go.
Now, he was certain that his father was murdered for attempting to blackmail special forces. Now, I'm wondering if it's even like the whole special forces or certain special forces members. Because I think blackmailing the whole special forces is a pretty big task, right?
Well, yeah, that seems
It's a big undertaking.
Seems impossible. And I mean, for one thing, you're going to have a large room to get them all in front of you to let them know that, hey, I'm going to blackmail you.
That's a lot of notes to write and pass like over a desk.
And that's the whole thing. You got to put it together.
Yeah.
You got to have craft service. I mean, what are we going to eat for lunch?
It's like a lot of planning. His father had written a letter describing a drug trafficking pipeline from the Kandahar airfield all the way to Fort Bragg. Someone involved had killed his father. That makes sense as well, right?
Well, it does. Every major conflict or war we've had, there always seems to be this illicit drug activity by certain members of the military. Opportunistic things like that. They have the means. They have. They're going in and out of the country unchecked. You know what I mean?
Well, typically, yeah, they don't have to.
They're not going through
customs.
Right.
You have access to military planes, these big cargo planes.
You're moving all kinds of gear.
I mean, how hard would it be to stash a couple kilos of heroin?
Vehicles, all this stuff.
In the truck wheel,
Yeah.
the wheel well of a truck or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have access to all these. Just all the resources you would need to smuggle things in and out, especially in smaller quantities.
Billy Lavigne. Let's get into speaking about Billy Lavigne just a little bit here. So, as we know, foul play is suspected in these deaths. Both Master Sergeant Lavigne and the veteran Dumas had been under investigation for using and selling drugs. So we know all of that. But let's get into discussing Billy a little bit. So Billy Lavigne was born in Gladstone, Michigan in 1983. In February of 2001, Billy enlisted in the U.S. Army Cavalry. Now, his primary reason was not a sense of patriotism, but to get a free corrective eye surgery.
I guess whatever works.
However, Billy discovered he liked being in the Army, choosing to make a career out of it. It has been noted by the age of 34, Lavigne had been deployed 41 months and 22 days in combat.
And that sounds like that's a lot. Is that a lot?
Yeah, I would say that's a lot. During his early years in the Army, he met and married a woman named Jamie Carter. After a deployment in Iraq, he told her he wanted a divorce, that he was going to join the Special Forces. Short-lived marriages are not uncommon among junior enlisted personnel. You're lonely, you're away from home, you meet someone, sparks fly. A lot of young men and young women see dollar signs because if you're married, you get paid to live off base. You get get a little extra money. But these marriages do not. They do not always make for They don't always make it to that 50-year anniversary.
Okay.
To that golden anniversary. Now, Lavigne was fixated on becoming a Green Beret. Lavigne completed his Special Forces training at Fort Bragg. In 2007, he was assigned as an intelligence sergeant in Okinawa, Japan. He stayed until 2009. Lavigne participated in dozens of deployments, but those are not all listed on his service record. Because, if you're doing confidential, top secret missions, that's not going to be available on your service jacket.
And that makes sense.
People describe the Special Forces as like a good old boys club. Like if you're not in it, you're not in it. The selection process to become a Delta Force operator, which is also denoted as an advanced land navigation on soldiers' service records, is rigorous. It is one of the most selective and secretive military units in the world. As I mentioned, the process is long, brutal, and designed to break most candidates. To meet basic eligibility, a person, and we'll just go ahead and say a man, needs to be an active duty Army soldier, historically from the Rangers, the Green Berets, infantry, and SOF. They're experienced non-commissioned officers, so they're NCOs. An exceptional fitness record is required, along with no disciplinary issues. Delta does not recruit publicly. Eligible soldiers receive a quiet invitation, or they apply through certain channels.
So if you think you meet the standards and you want to join, you can kind of inquire within.
Yeah. It's like an internal channels for sure.
It's like, hey, I want to be on the Delta.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think I got what it takes.
What?
I got the X Factor.
I can tell you that you don't.
I got Moxie.
No.
That's not enough.
I don't even think they would assign you to latrine duty, buddy.
Whatever. They wish I was on Delta. I'll be forgetting shit.
What do you like, the decoy?
But where are we at? They'd be like, oh, they're dumb Americans.
Yeah, totally.
Playing my part, but
you would be the decoy.
Yeah.
There's an extensive background check, and usually a soldier needs command endorsements. Selection lasts several weeks and is intentionally vague and disorienting. One must handle extreme endurance under heavy physical load, pain tolerance, show decision-making during times of mental depletion, and have strict discipline over emotions. Most candidates fail here. Many fit rugged Rangers and Green Berets wash out. And once you're gone, you're gone. There are no second chances when it comes to Delta Force. Once a candidate survives the physical selection process, they face a psychological screening. There is an intense, deep psychological profiling. You take moral and ethical tests. They look at independence, emotional stability. Delta seeks calm, intelligent operators. These soldiers will be trained killers. So you can't have them going off half-cocked.
Right. Literally.
Well, here's my thing, though. If you are raising these super soldiers, eventually they're gonna be loose cannon, right?
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. So we'll see. The thing is these are the guys in movies. That's my experience. Obviously, they get dumped in the shit, and they're off book. They have very limited. There's only 4 or 5, 6, whatever of them. It's not a whole, there's not a bunch of backup. The cavalry, you are the cavalry. No one's coming. If things go bad, you're doing very sensitive, confidential, top secret stuff. If things go bad, you have to be very resourceful. You have to be able to endure just things that would make most people fold, right?
Right. And I guess why I'm saying, like, you're broken down, you're built up to be like the super soldier, and so eventually, like, the things you do and see are going to make you like a little bit of a loose cannon. And I only say this because, and now I don't know any like Delta Force operators, but the special type forces, SEALs, and people like of that caliber that I have known, they're all a little nuts.
Well,
I don't mean that in like a bad. I mean, they're just
no. I'm saying you're talking top A personalities, real
risk takers,
right.
adrenaline junkies. Like, will get on the hood of a car and be like, "I'm surfing on the hood of the car. I want you to drive down this, windy ass road doing 60." I mean, just crazy shit, right? Because they're just like thrill seekers,
right?
At least the people I have known in my life. Once a candidate completes this phase, they move on to operator training school. It is months long, extremely demanding, and in all honesty, we only have vague ideas of what this training includes. Close quarters, combat theory, counterterrorism doctrine, team integration, advanced marksmanship, and even after a person passes, they're kept on a probationary status. It is a ruthlessly merit-based system.
So you think they're doing like trust falls and things like that to bond?
Yes. Yes. I think they have like a share circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some soldiers are removed even after they've reached the integration stage, like are removed. So just because you pass doesn't mean you're in. They can like revoke your status at any time.
Well, it sounds like you're being evaluated the entire time in all the ways, physically, mentally. Are you a good team member, teammate, all these things. And I think there's a reason for that, obviously.
Somebody's watching me.
So you have to imagine the people who make it through all this and get into Delta, they have to be a certain kind of person.
They got big balls.
Right.
Right?
And I'd say it would come with a lot of gravitas, a lot of confidence once you make it all the way to the top of a very elite
I would say
thing
so.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of feel like a badass. I mean, how could you not?
Right, exactly. I feel like a badass just talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like a badass sometimes during the day, when I, do whatever regular shit I do.
Yeah.
I do it very well.
I feel like a badass sometimes. Like, I just drive through the the line and get my coffee, my latte.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, like, turn up some Billy Idol or whatever, and I'm like zipping through town like,
yeah.
Yeah. I wish somebody would.
It is a good day for a white wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Colonel Reese, who served in the unit, would say Lavigne should have been rejected at the psych evaluation stage. Somehow, he was a guy who managed to slip through the cracks.
Okay.
The thing is with these operators, they have a public persona. They can be friendly, super professional, but flip the switch and everyone could die. I mean, you don't mess with these guys. And it's kind of scary when you really think of this extreme like personality switch, or how how quickly things could devolve
right
into like you're just a little smeared spot on the floor. I don't know. I think about that.
I don't want to be smeared.
I don't want to be a smear either.
I don't want to be a light film.
No,
You
no.
know?
I don't want to be a puddle of goo
Well,
either, like meaty goo.
Well, here's the thing about it, even in the face of this type of opponent, if you will, I'm still going to do what I do. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they can FAFO if you want. I'm like, Uncle Sam just cashing a check, or, writing a check that your ass cannot cash.
Well, we
sir.
are like trillions of dollars in debt, so they definitely can't afford to cash it.
Come on. The debt's fake.
Write it.
The debt's fake.
I am convinced it is.
Well, yeah, it's just a theory.
In 2017, an article was published in The Intercept detailing crimes of SEAL Team 6, which included shooting people in their sleep, making snuff films, stealing government money, using hatchets and axes in combat. I mean, there was a ghastly trail of atrocities. A rogue culture permeated the special mission units. It wasn't all SEALs, but they were not going to rat on their teammates because you don't blow the whistle. So that makes them complicit in the crimes. So, like, even if you're not participating, you don't tell on the people who are, but that still makes you a complicit person, right? Because you're allowing this shit to go on.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can argue that, or you're just minding your business. I mean, you know. So.
Well, Spike Lee told me to always do the right thing.
Well, look, see, it's crazy because they're operating at such a high level. They're doing these things that are not stuff that's usually discussed in the public, right? Oftentimes it can have
kidnapping Maduro in the middle of the night in his little Nike sweatsuit.
Huge geopolitical consequences. I mean, the stuff they're doing could literally start wars, right? Sometimes, depending on the mission. And it doesn't surprise me that there will be this camaraderie, this kind of code, if you will, amongst people that operate like that.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
Because even in the best of times, they can't tell people outside their unit about things. Everything's hush-hush. They probably feel almost like they have to wear a mask.
You're on these top secret missions.
Around friends, family, your girl, your wife or girlfriend.
Your lovers.
I'm going to imagine that, like you said, they may lose control of the switch, of being able to turn it on and off. When you come back home after you did some foul shit or super secret stuff, how do you just go back and act normal, you know?
Well, that's why I think The Hurt Locker is such a great film, because I think it kind of captures the essence of that feeling of you're full of adrenaline and you're in combat and like crazy shit's happening, and then you come home and you're just like mundane tasks in the grocery store, like walking down the frozen food aisle looking at pizza. I mean...
Well, no, and I'm sure that's hard. I've never dealt with that, but I'm sure that's really tough. Or if you're over there and you're really good at your job and you're the best, or you're part of an elite squad, then you come home and you're just you don't get that same recognition. You don't get that same satisfaction out of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've faced this actually in my personal life to a degree. Being at the
moving along.
Okay. So no, really, you're just going to code over my experiences of being an elite operator in the streets.
Yes.
Operating being the fence industry at the highest level. The only
thing I've ever seen you operate is like your little mouth when you be like eating some chicken legs or something.
Yeah, and whatever. I suck them bones like nobody else.
Yeah, I know you do. So it's a little troubling, actually.
I'm not afraid to work the knob.
I've noticed. While this was being exposed to the American public, Delta Force was still quietly operating in the background. During Iraq and Afghanistan wars, they were barely mentioned. So you have all this light being shown, shined it on to, I'm country, kind of being shown onto SEAL Team 6 and highlighting like these atrocities and this, basically like war crimes and just sadistic, evil shit, right? But you have these other special forces units like Delta Force probably doing a lot of the same shit, but it's just not being discussed.
Right.
Lavigne's first deployment to Afghanistan is listed in October of 2011. Bin Laden had been killed 5 months earlier, and it was dicey in country. There were like 10 night raids each night. So these guys were essentially doing government-sanctioned wet work.
So they're taking people out.
Yeah. Also, there was a lot of poppy cultivation going on in Afghanistan, with heroin production up 7,500% between 2003 to 2004.
See, okay, look. This happens all the time. This happens almost every time. And I've been listening to this audio book about the CIA, the Vatican,
FedSlop.
and all the connection between all this. And basically the CIA in this country created various drug markets in the various or different decades. You know, at one point it was methamphetamines, and then it was cocaine, and then it was crack cocaine, and then it was pills, which maybe not so much pills, but that actually was done to grow the heroin market. You know, the Summer of Love, that was all about making people.
Well, yeah, we discussed that when we had our 3-part series on Charles Manson.
Well, that was all about creating a drug
Jolly
market,
West,
taking
yes.
it from 20,000 active users in America. That was really subculture, underground, beatniks, you know, jazz culture and all this, to
The Bohemians.
1 million users, right? And then they're using all that money to finance bullshit and off-book work and all this dangerous shit all around the world.
So CIA basically stands for Central Illegal Shit Agency.
See, under the Taliban, because they were so religious and I don't know if I'm missing the right word. I mean, because of their beliefs, they didn't believe that you should be using heroin. Therefore, they killed people who tried to grow heroin. And you know, these extremist groups don't tend to like anybody else having power or structure around them. It's the same thing with Saddam Hussein. To say that he was in league with Al-Qaeda and all that is really dumb, because he would not allow these groups to have power and to thrive around him. He would actually stamp them out.
He was the master of the universe.
His mustache was the most important mustache.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the same thing with and it just blows my mind. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but it just blows my mind that it was all about cheap heroin. And then we go into Afghanistan, all this bullshit, and next thing you know, there's cheap heroin on every street corner because they've taken away the pills, you know, Purdue and all that bullshit that totally destroyed this country as well. They take all that away, and then now you're hooked on the pills you can't get anymore. And what are you going to do? Hey, look, there's cheap heroin on every corner.
Okay, so back to my story. The opioid epidemic was taking place in the United States, and soon after, heroin from Afghanistan was a rising threat to law enforcement. You so eloquently explained it to us, Dylan, so I'm pretty much wasting my breath here. This different kind of heroin took hold. The prices for heroin were incredibly low, lower than pills, as you mentioned. The DEA blamed Mexico, refusing to recognize there were other sources outside of Latin America bringing these drugs here.
Yes, that's the number one source is Afghanistan now.
Yeah, well, apparently it's Venezuela. Like, I've never heard that Venezuela was like this major drug threat to us until recently.
Well,
but we never mentioned that Afghanistan
no
has been a major, pipeline with these drugs.
No, and
the Chinese fentanyl, or like that China sells like all of the equipment to, manufacture like fake fentanyl pills.
All the precursor chemicals, all the equipment.
Yeah.
It all comes from China. And that's not being snuck through Venezuela.
I mean, what next? We're going to be like, it's Uruguay.
Well, it just depends on where our oil's at.
Uruguay is why fentanyl's everywhere. Yes. Okay. I'll get off my little soapbox here. Fuck them all. The Obama administration didn't want to acknowledge heroin production and made no mentions of Afghanistan during this time. The Taliban was blamed. They funded the insurgency with heroin money. But there were others who didn't believe that was true. Because, as you mentioned, these like jihadists, these extremists, they are anti-drug.
Right.
So they wouldn't necessarily always want to be dabbling in, with the drugs in order to fund their activities.
They're not only not going to dabble in it, they're going to destroy it every time they come across it, if they can.
Now, some of the Taliban-affiliated narcos were actually CIA assets. Shocking, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick your jaw up off the floor, Dylan. In his second term, Obama abandoned all efforts to counter narcotics in Afghanistan. Poppy cultivation expanded to nearly 250,000 hectares.
So that's a lot.
Well, I know it's more than an acre. Yeah. Cartel traffickers became untouchable. February of 2013 brought Lavigne's second tour in Afghanistan. One of his Delta operator buddies had died. Several Green Berets and Army Rangers were killed. These operators were gunning down these low-level suspected Taliban every night. As I mentioned, like these, 10 raids a night. Simply to manufacture statistics to the White House. So these soldiers were trained to kill and kill every day. Their job was to murder people with zero remorse. So how do you think that's going to impact most humans?
Well, yeah, just to be able to do that in the first place, you're already outside of societal norm, right? Just to be able to go. I mean, it's one thing to say, I'm, going somewhere to, even in a humanitarian aspect, to protect people. I'm going to stop the bad guys whenever they try to attack people or us. And that's one way to look at it. But when you're literally going out and just killing people every night, I mean, that's a whole different level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how exactly you compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
In your brain. People have described Afghanistan as being the Wild West. There was no limit to bad behavior that special forces couldn't get away with. Running guns, selling drugs, stealing cars and equipment. Guys were coming home with thousands of dollars strapped to their bodies. Theft of government funds was extremely common. The Army would give operators hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for information, and that money was stolen instead. Between 2009 and 2010, like a 6-month period, 5 Green Berets were convicted of stealing $200,000 in counterterrorism cash, just to give you an example.
Yes, literal pallets of cash.
Yeah, I mean, these men were coming home, and their wives were like untaping money that they had, on their person. Like just chunks, like $10,000, what you would see like on TV.
Right.
Those like neatly wrapped, sealed cash.
Well, and it's gotta be tempting, right? You're in this environment where it's almost like, feels like anything goes. There's limited oversight because that's just the bureaucracy of a big unit like that, the whole military. You're seeing literal pallets of cash. It's being just kind of given out willy-nilly to whoever. You don't know if that guy's the enemy or not, but maybe he still gets the money. And here you are, just a working stiff, basically, as a soldier. I mean, many of us would be tempted by that when it's right in your face like that.
It would be hard to turn.
Well, I would take it.
Down
I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
That money.
I would have some money in the crack of my ass every single time I came home.
I ain't even going to tell you where I put my money.
Yeah. She's talking about she put it in the bank.
You'd have to digging it out of the coin purse. Yeah. Made an extra deposit.
The Hello Kitty coin purse.
Yes. Between 2005 and 2015, 115 service members were convicted of stealing $52 million in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Damn. Let
that register. $52 million. 115 service members. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It was an ambiguous environment where the chain of command knew what was going on, but did nothing about it. This has a corrosive influence on everybody. As they say, shit rolls downhill. So if you are in a shitty chain of command and your leadership is crooked and there's some shit, then your lowest level enlisted person's going to be a piece of shit.
Well, and even the people that don't agree with it, they're not going to feel like they have any avenue to report it or anything else.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just not a good place to be. And if you are a whistleblower, you're going to catch hell. You're going to be demonized. Everybody's going to turn against you. You're going to be blackballed.
Yeah, and that's true in almost every industry.
Like ruin your career.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it is easier to just keep your mouth shut. So this kind of brings around, I guess, the point I was trying to make earlier, Dylan, is that you have trained these people to have no morals, and then they do immoral things.
Right. It's no surprise.
Yeah. So it's no shock that once you've stripped this person down and you've given them this, license to kill and to do whatever it takes, right, to get the mission done, you're going to act surprised when they do terrible things. I mean, and like I said earlier, you're training these people to be killers and stuff, and then you're expecting them not to, in the end, to be a little half-cocked or to be a loose cannon.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, just human nature. We're not designed
Well, it's hard
to work this way.
It's hard to expect someone to just to not have morals and do this wild and crazy stuff only when you want them to, right? Because, I mean, in a way, this is almost like this type of training at this level, this intense psychological and physical training is almost like MK Ultraing someone,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's almost so you shatter their personality through extreme measures of some type, and then, kind of put them back together in the form that you want, or to get them to act how they normally wouldn't, right? If you had just left this person alone, never did anything to them or had them in this program, they probably wouldn't be like this, or to this extreme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot to think about. And I know we're just into part 1. We have much more to discuss. My main resource for today's episode is a book by Seth Harp called The Fort Bragg Cartel. He's an investigative journalist, and he uncovered this drug trafficking and murder within the special forces. So, what we're talking about today. This is a wild story. And like I said, organized crime, people kind of always think of like the mafia, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not just limited to that, right? I mean, we've got a whole organized crime unit basically here in the Army.
Well, no, it's just that it's organized. It has a structure. It's the conspiracy elements there. Many people working to make it happen. And I always think it's fascinating because it never fails that inside of that organized structure, you have cracks and breaks, and people start, not trusting each other, or they think that someone's going to rat them out or anything like that, and it can quickly go very, very bad.
Well, thank you for listening to today's episode. We will be back next week with part 2. We have so much more to get to in this story, and we're working backwards a little bit, but like I said, there's a lot. I think people are going to have their minds blown when we're finished.
Yes, this is a wild and crazy story for sure. Thank you, Heather, for that. Your hard work on this story, getting our first episode of the organized crime theme going. And thanks again to our patrons, our new patrons, for supporting this week's episode. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy what you find over there at the Patreon, because even during our sabbatical, we had to drop a little something for the patrons.
And I want to just send out a big hug to Holly. She knows who she is.
She does know who she is.
She's got a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
And we're sending you a big hug, girl.
Yeah, we are thinking about you, and we're sending all our positive energy your way.
Absolutely, Dylan. All right. So like I said, we will be back next week with the part 2 of this wild story. And we'll also have a midweek for you.
That's
or maybe an end of the week.
Or a recap.
Yes.
There's so much going
Gosh,
on.
we have a lot to talk about. So absolutely, we'll be dropping that episode here in a day or so. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye.